Yo, what's going on, guys, man? Welcome back to another video. As y'all see by the title, today we're going to be talking about using the Canon EOS R6 on an actual music video. Now, I'm not going to be like deep diving into the crazy specs or nothing like that. I will talk about a few specs, but I'm not going to be talking about every fucking thing about the camera. This camera's been out for a while, so if you know about the camera and you want to like talk about specs, and that's on you, but that's not what I'm about to fucking do. So yeah, with that being said, I was gonna like do like an actual in-depth behind the scenes, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't feel like doing that shit, bruh. So I'm just gonna do a video talking about using the R6. I think that'll be more beneficial for you guys instead of me talking about behind the scenes stuff. I will show the behind the scenes clips within this video, but I'm not going to be doing the in-depth behind the scenes, and I don't want to be spending time on like a crazy long video. I think this will be more beneficial, like I said. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I got a few things I want to talk about. So yeah, let's get right into this video. All right, man, so the first thing is the ergonomics of the R6. Now, I shoot with the Canon EOS R. The buttons are a little bit different on the R6 compared to the R, but not anything that's going to be significant, or at least for me. I know some of you guys are previous Canon users. I shot with Sony prior to the R, and so that R was my first Canon camera, and I wasn't used to everything for that. So I know some of you guys are used to having certain buttons. The R6 does have certain things back on it, like the joystick that people were talking about. Like even on the R, I don't even use the little electronic thing, but it does have a little joystick on there and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool, it's useful. But yeah, the ergonomics, it feels the same as the R, so it's not anything significant. It's just slightly bigger, but that's pretty much the biggest thing for ergonomics. One of the best things for me with using this camera is shooting in 10-bit in all recording modes. That is like game changing. I always have shot on 8-bit cameras, and when I color grade, it breaks a lot because I like to really heavily color grade my footage, especially for paid work, music videos, all that kind of stuff. I like to heavily grade my footage. So using 10-bit, you can really push your colors the way you want to. It isn't raw footage where you can like really tweak and do different things. I'm just talking about the whole color grade aspect of using 10-bit compared to 8-bit. Just being able to push my grade the way I want to and just push it further and not see the colors break the way I'm used to. That shit was really game changing to me. So yeah, everything for that video was shot in 10-bit except for one scene. If you guys can tell the difference on which scene was shot in 8-bit, head down to the comments and let me know. I think it all looks the same, but when I was editing everything, you could definitely tell. It looked different when I was editing, but I think when everything was pieced together, it all looked the same. And the only reason why we shot in 8-bit for that particular scene is because we had to return the R6 because it was a rental camera. We had to return that, and I just shot with the R in 4K, 24 frames per second. And I got those scenes, and it wasn't 8-bit. I can shoot in 10-bit on the R, but you have to use the external monitor, external recorder, and I don't have that. So I just used what I had available to me. And yeah, that one scene, if you guys know what it is, head down to the comments. Or if you can tell what it is, head down to the comments and let me know. I'm curious to see if you guys can figure it out. So yeah, if you guys have not shot with a camera that can shoot 10-bit or higher, I highly recommend you guys try to get in on that because, like I said, man, when it comes to your color grade, you can push colors the way you want to, and it just looks a lot better than 8-bit cameras. The autofocus is really, really good. Even though for this video, for that music video, I wanted to mainly use manual focus because I wanted to see how the tilted nucleus nano perform. I had just bought it at the time that I shot that video, but I also wanted to test out the autofocus, and the autofocus was really spot on, man. Autofocus on this camera is honestly the best autofocus that I've ever used, ever. I haven't used too many cameras. I used the R6, the EOS R, which is what I'm using now. Older Sony cameras and an old ass Nikon. That Nikon was kind of trash. Out of those, the R6 hands down has the best autofocus. The autofocus on this camera is honestly just crazy, man. I shot a couple of scenes where I was using the eye tracking autofocus, and it did not lose focus, not one time. Definitely a lot better than the R. The R is good. I'm using the eye autofocus right now. I mean, it keeps good track of me right now. I'm looking at my monitor and everything. It looks like it keeps track, but I have had a few moments where it does lose my face. But on the R6, even with the artist moving around and me get some different angles and everything, it stayed exactly where I needed to stay. So yeah, the autofocus on this camera is very, very good. The next thing I want to talk about is full frame 4K, 24 frames per second and 60 frames per second. Y'all know the EOS R has a massive crazy crop. That's why right now I'm shooting in 1080p, but at the end of the day, it's not too much of a deal breaker for me. But I wanted to shoot with a camera that didn't have a massive crop. This was definitely a much needed upgrade from the R to the R6, having that 4K full frame and those 24 frames per second and 60, and then the 1080p with the 120 frames per second. With autofocus, it's definitely a huge upgrade, along with 10-bit and all recording modes. All that combined together, man, it's just, and the autofocus, it just makes, man, this camera is really, really good. I don't see why anybody wouldn't need the R5. Are you really gonna be using 8K? And can you even edit 8K footage? I heard the R5 footage sucks to edit with, and that's my next thing I wanna get into. Even though I do usually encode my footage to ProRes, even using the original files without encoding it to ProRes, it was easy to work with in Premiere Pro. No hiccups, no lagging, everything was fine, man. I had no issues with any of this stuff. But yeah, the files on the R6 are honestly really, really easy to edit with in Premiere Pro. Like I said, I'm not sure about Final Cut or any other type of editing software. All I use is Premiere Pro and everything worked just fine. That is pretty much it. Like I said, I wanted to do like an in-depth behind the scenes, man, but I got a lot of shit going on right now and I just don't have time to really do that video, man. I don't even want to edit that, to be honest. So with this video, it's like knocking out 2 birds, 1 stone. If y'all were looking for that in-depth behind the scenes, I am sorry, because it is not going to happen. I'm not doing that video. But yeah, man, look, with that being said, I'm about to get up out of here. It's 7:30. I gotta cook and I'm hungry and it's hot. My AC is turned off because I'm shooting this video, and I don't want my audio to sound trash because the AC is hella loud. But I'm talking too much, I'm rambling. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it to be informational to you, hit that like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and make sure you guys go check out the SirDean video linked up and down in the description. I will see you guys with my next video. I'm out, guys. Peace.